It's been 10 years since the death of John Kennedy Jr., but while he's been gone, he's not been forgotten. Now, young John basically grew up here in the White House while his dad was president, but there are many people who think had his life not been tragically cut short, he could have ended up back here at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
There was a sense with him that he had a destiny, maybe one day run for president.
That was the prevailing sentiment ever since that little boy who saluted his slain father became a handsome, charismatic adult.
John was a person who in many ways reminded people of his father. You know, I think it's natural that people would have a kind of hope that you know, some of the optimism of that period could be rekindled through John.
It's not a burden President Kennedy himself wanted to put on his son, at least not in the days right after John Jr.'s birth.
And I do remember once asking him if he wanted his son to grow up to be president. And he said, I just want him to be healthy.
But in 1988, at age 27, John took his first tentative step into the public arena, addressing the Democratic National Convention in Atlanta.
Over a quarter century ago, my father stood before you to accept the nomination for the presidency of the United States.
The crowd went wild with speculation that the heir to Camelot was finally entering the family business, even though John himself, a magazine publisher by then, was quick to dampen Democratic enthusiasm.
Certainly in politics, once you begin, you better be in it for the long haul. And for me, you know, it's important to have a few life experiences before you do that.
At one point, started trying to convince him to run for mayor of New York as a Republican. And he said, well, there are many advantages to this idea. I mean, I wouldn't make a bad mayor of New York. I certainly love it. And running as a Republican would settle the hash with the family.
There were great predictions that he might run for presidency, and I think he would have been well fitted for that.
You know, thought this man had a tremendously promising political future. He was a tremendous celebrity, but who had this ability to connect with everyone.
Would he be in the White House? Who knows? I mean, at this, he would be 48. Certainly, I think he could have easily been elected governor of New York. It would have put him in a good position to make a run for national office.
Of course, that's a question that will never be answered. As we say goodbye, we leave you with some of the more memorable images of a young man who, because of his good looks, personal charm, and family name, was embraced as America's son, someone destined for greatness. Unfortunately, he was tragically taken in the prime of his life, forever a symbol of what could have been a tremendous potential unfulfilled.